Hello, welcome back to the channel. I thought today we'd take a look at the Hornby B12, the one that's just a few years old now. I think I bought it a couple of years ago. Hattons was selling these off quite cheap, and I think nearly everyone has had trouble with this who bought it, including Sam's Trains, Model Railways Unlimited, and I think they've probably sent theirs back. I haven't sent mine back yet because it's still running, but it does require a lot of volts before it actually moves. That was about 35% on my controller, and it wasn't a smooth sort of getaway. And if I increase the speed, let's put it up to 65 there, and that's not exactly running away with itself, is it? But it does run better at this speed than lower speeds, and it doesn't get too hot, which is what I've found. If you run this at low speeds, not only does the motor in the engine get hot, but if you feel the panel here, this gets hot with the potentiometer underneath there. That's obviously getting hot, so I don't run it for too long a period. Although initially when I bought it, I did run it in for the traditional half hour in each direction, and it was very hot, and even the boiler, which is metal, that got hot. So there is something wrong with it. And if I bring it round here and if I just click off, there is a slight flywheel effect, but not much. Off we go. So yeah, considering the size of the flywheel in there, you would have expected it to carry on a bit longer than that. Anyway, it's still running. But as I said, I don't fancy running it for extended periods. But I don't know, it might be alright in the end. You never know. It might still be running in after all these hours. So let's have a look in the cab anyway. I think this is the only model. I think all the other variations, livery variations, I think they're okay. It just seems to be this one with the British Railways on the side, and this number. Let me just get the box, and then you'll know which one to avoid. Yeah, this is the box, and this is the number. It's R3545. So I would avoid that one. If you see that going cheap, then or even expensive, just don't buy it, because it's probably got a faulty motor. So all the others, as I say, all the others don't appear to have this problem, but it's got a nice back head detail, and it's got more or less all the detail that you would expect these days from a Hornby loco. So tender's got nice coal. It's got the little scuttle at the side there for the fireman's implements, the fire irons and the pokers and whatnot, although they don't supply those with the loco. They used to back in the 80s. You can see there's rivets along the top of the boiler, which is prototypical because that was the way it was made. And it wasn't, that's not a mould line because it doesn't run through the steam dome, which appears, I don't know whether the steam dome is plastic and just added on. I suppose it might be, but might not be. No, I don't think it is. I think that's metal as well. I think the safety valves are metal, but I'm not sure about the whistle. Not sure about that, but it's quite a nice moulding anyway. And if you look at the lining, that's neat and tidy. Rather too much red than black, but this is what they can't seem to achieve. It's like when you look at the Flying Scotsman models, it should have a thick black line down the middle, and they're still doing a thin one, so it looks like it's lined in white still. And there you go, you got some little details in there because it's an inside cylindered locomotive. Cylinders will be up the front there, underneath the smoke box, and yeah, it's a lovely job they've done of the moulding and everything. I think the cab's plastic, but the main boiler is a cast metal item. So there's some weight to it, and that may add to the problems for the motor, I don't know. But yeah, it's a fine looking locomotive. I'm just waiting for the day where the motor just packs up, and then in that case I'll just open it up and see if I can fit another motor from somewhere. And the old motor will do, as long as you can seat it there. Well, maybe it won't, I don't know. You might have to use probably have to use the same worm gear. I did have it open to have a look at the motor and give it a little bit of lubrication first of all. I can't remember. I think it's just got one flywheel, but it's quite a long 5-pole skew wound motor in this one. Yeah, so enough of that. And we've got a couple of traditional trying items in there, and over here we've got the D16, which is very similar to the B12, but it's a 440. So they were both designed by William Holden for the Great Eastern, and then they were both Gresleyized when he became the CME of the LNER. So they're both quite common locomotives that were seen all over East Anglia in BR days. And I think a few B12s made their way up to Scotland as well in LNER days. So let's get him back going again. As I said, we won't run him for an extended period. But it's a quiet motor. And it does look the business, really nice looking. I can't put a coupling on the front, even the skinny coupling, because I've fitted the guard irons, and on second radius, which I've got here that he's running on, the coupling fouls the guard irons. So if you've got any other of these models and you have the guard irons on the front, remember that you won't be able to run that on second radius without it coming off the track. So that's third radius for this one really, if you want a coupling on the front. Let's get going with the goods yard. Let's do a bit of shunting here. So we've got the 3F Dealey here. With a LMS guards van. He's popped over from the Midland region, and what we'll do is we'll assemble his little train here. Let's uncouple the guards van and we'll get the trucks. We'll course this locomotive has been running since the late 50s, early 60s, and his motor is still quite good. Not quite the same level of detail. So we've got those. Oops, it's stalled on the points. Let's give him a little shove. Are we there yet? No, I think he's stalled again. Funny that, he didn't do that just now going forward, did he? Oh, he needs more juice. There we are. Right, here we go. And we've got the action accessory today is the guard's van, which is the one with the working tail light. So let's have a look at that as he goes by. Here we are. And this will warm up in a minute and get faster. And he sounds alright, doesn't he? Some of these XO4 motors sound quite loud and growly, and some, like this, are they're probably well worn in. So same with all items that are manufactured in large quantities. You get good ones and bad ones, but these 3Fs, all the ones I've seen on other people's layouts on YouTube and whatever, they all seem to be quite good runners, quite smooth, quite quiet. Let's have a look at him as he goes by. All the lining's in pretty good nick on this one, and pretty good on that one as well, isn't it? So I think that must have been one of their best selling models for a little while, the 3F tender loco there. And over here in this corner, let him go past, we've got the trying engine shed, which I've been looking out for a little while. So it's got a couple of gluey marks on this side, but it's not bad condition, is it? So I'm quite pleased with that. That's quite cheap. Got the let's have a look at that. We got the Lima J50 there, parked up in there. Should keep him dust free, shouldn't it, that? And shall we have a look at the D16 before we go? Let's give the B12 a little rest. We'll bring him into the station. And let's clear that end. Yeah, we'll clear that end. Change that set of points over there. This set of points over here. You can see these train buildings, they've got the same windows, the water tower and the engine shed. They've got more or less the same windows, I think, haven't they? Oh no, there's a slight difference, isn't there? Yeah. I think the holes they fit in are similar size, but these ones are arched at the top, and the ones in the engine shed are flat across the top there. Yeah. So off he goes. He's warmed up now. I did remagnetise the motor in this one, but he doesn't really. Whilst he uses a lot of volts, and you can see he's on 70%, he doesn't get hot or anything, and neither does the controller. So that's probably just the way he is. I don't know whether the smoke unit's still connected in there, or if there is a smoke unit. I'll have to have a look next time I have a look inside it. I'll have a look. So let's get the D16 underway. And this is a lively runner. He's you know, he's on 25 there. If I put him on, let's say 50, then that's quite fast, isn't it? So if you buy one of these, you're okay. The motors are good in these. It's got the same tender as the B12, which is prototypical. Look there, and there's a little bump there because of the TPO ramp there and there. Some engines don't like it and they won't run over it, they'll just stop. This one, the tender seems to, I don't know whether it's a brake gear. I did take the brake gear off one tender that did that, but yeah, so if you want your TPO, remember there are some locomotives that do not like these ramps, and some other rolling stock as well. I found that my mainline little 060 J72s, they don't like those. They're rather low slung underneath, and they don't like the uncoupling ramps either. So, here we go. I've got some rather nice trying items coming soon in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So that's something to look forward to. And I've still got those 2 American diesels that I said I was going to show you, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago now. I haven't shown you those. One of those is a blue box Athern locomotive, so we'll definitely have a look at those quite soon. So there we are. So for today I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you soon. Bye now.